Under a state of emergency after a day of heavy rain brought extreme flooding to the state. Our crew of reporter Justin Michaels and Matt Safer were reporting live from just across the border in Covington, Virginia, and they were a little shocked by the storm. This morning, and both he and his cameraman and Matt are okay. But Justin, how are you guys doing after a night of heavy rain? In fact, you had to change hotels because the first one you were in didn't have power. What was your experience?
I'll tell you what, it was a tough night here. Nothing compared to what the people who live here experienced, and are many of them having to basically pump out their basements right now. Maybe some of them are still in shelters. There were 2 shelters open here in Covington last night. So we might not have had power in our first hotel, and we might have gotten a few hours less sleep than we wanted, but we're doing much better than the people here as they're trying to clean up today. But let me show you the power of the water behind me. This is the Jackson River. I want you to take a look at the trees out there in the middle of the Jackson. There's actually a small island out there. It completely laid those trees down, the water coming through here. And if that isn't enough evidence to show the power of the water, take a look at this. This post over here with this small gate entering what looks like a little municipal field, completely ripped out of the ground, and you can see the concrete is over there, the hole is over here. We're talking about major force of water because of what was coming down the Jackson River last night as this flooding was happening. Really powerful to see Mother Nature in action. Now, we also came across this story last night. Take a look at the video right here of this fire. This is a fire in somebody's garage behind their home. This entire street was evacuated because of the floodwaters coming up onto the home. Well, the garage caught fire while the people were at the shelter here in Covington. Not quite sure of the cause of that fire. It could have been flood related. There was no power on the street at the time, so they're trying to figure that out. We did talk to people, of course, here in Covington last night. Take a listen to one gentleman right now.
I don't know what it's going to be to take to replace it, or what our next moves will be to recover from this, but this is a disaster.
And that was a gentleman who actually owned a building that began to collapse because of a mudslide. Another problem here in Covington. Let's talk about Greenbrier right now. The Greenbrier golfing over there in West Virginia, going to be the scene of the Greenbrier Classic next month for the PGA Tour. Well, plenty of trouble there as well as far as flooding. It's been a tough time in this part of the country. We're covering all the angles for you. Back into you guys.
All right, Justin Michaels, thank you for that report. You know, certainly that dichotomy of the fire and the floodwaters here, you know, both side by side, very difficult to take. We're going to be looking for, of course, recovery and better weather for you there today. But let's look ahead to the rest of the Northeast.